don't know if I'm going to marinate the whole 2 quarts.
It's probably a lot to marinate. You can't use it all then.
Yeah. I may do something. It depends. The pans that I got this time are pretty deep, so we'll see. They're still really good. I gotta wash all this to make sure if somebody's got a strawberry allergy, but not a cherry allergy.
Yeah.
Although I feel like the berries are from the same place, wouldn't you think? I don't know.
Not necessarily.
Something I probably have to Google. But probably safe, more safe than sorry. What's going on, Xander? We're just cutting strawberries. We're going to be marinating the strawberries in Cabernet Sauvignon red wine for like 16 hours. And then we will be going through the process of cooking it. So, definitely not. They're very, very, very ripe strawberries. Very tasty strawberries. So, we'll probably put out a video showing the process. Usually I charge anywhere from $40 to $50 for the full process because you have to cut and prepare the fruit, then marinate the fruit for almost 24 hours, take it out, cook it, then bake your pie crust, take the pie crust out, blend all the dry ingredients with the fruit. Then that's after you cook the fruit, and then finally take that fruit, put it in the pie crust, and bake the pie a second time, and then take it out and then put flowers on top, edible flowers specifically. Hello from Russia. Hello. Appreciate you being here. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So we got local strawberries from this area. We live in Pennsylvania. Strawberries are a big thing right now. And cherries. The cherries are imported. Unfortunately, they're not ready until another week. But one of my best friends, their son is turning 21. I was asked to make some food for them. So we have 2 quarts of strawberries, and we have 3 pounds of cherries. But the difference between the cherries and the strawberries is that almost everything in a strawberry can be used, whereas the pits cannot be used in cherries. They're literally can kill you. So they have to be taken out. So 3 pounds of cherries is a lot less than you think. And we have to wash everything after we're done with it to make sure that there's no allergy issues. Kind of have to deal with all that. So we're cutting all the strawberries in 4s, and then we're throwing away the leafy bit. Don't need it. And then, yeah, we're going to marinate it in this big container, put the container in the fridge for 18 hours or so, and go through that process. But let me scroll a little bit. Some people were chatting. Kyle, a little weird comment. Didn't mute you. Xander, appreciate you. Always appreciate you coming and show if I thought that was blood. I answered that. Caleb, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Daddy Whore, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. It's a strange name. But the table is a little short for me, and that's okay. Doesn't bother my back at all. We're not going to be doing too much cutting, so it's not a big deal. Erican, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you saying hello. I try to do some cooking streams every once in a while, some other stuff. I don't just play Dance Dance Revolution all the time. Ian, fortunately, I am not a woman, but I appreciate that. Oh, so concept. So, somebody else had told me that I look like Vsauce, and I looked him up, and I do. I don't think I sound like him, but I definitely look like him. And I'm getting a beard trim today around 6 o'clock. I will say, before there is any concern, this beard grows so freaking fast that I get that trim done every month. So don't worry, it's gonna be wild just the same once again in a month, and it's still gonna be wild by the time he's done with it. I usually tell him to style it up, make it look pretty, but believe me, this beard grows like a wildfire. So, in which century do you play? So, this recipe is from an Elizabethan recipe, so I believe it's either 15 or 1600s. A friend of mine asked me to make this tart for her one time for her birthday, and I made a plum version of it. It was very, very good. And then it's on my Instagram. I think my Instagram is connected to my YouTube, so you should be able to find it if you stalk me a little bit. It's Theo Holtz on Instagram, no spaces. Holtz is Holtz. But if you go there, you can find my Instagram, and you should be able to see the tart that I made originally there. And that was a plum tart. And we did the exact same thing as this, except the plums were a lot easier. In trim, I will sub. I gotta do it, man. I got a birthday party tomorrow, and I have a wedding party that I have to go to on Sunday, so I have to look presentable. But if you want to sub anyway, you'll still catch me when I'm all goofy again. What's my favorite fruit? Orange. I love oranges. There's a really, really cool orange recipe that involves honey and oranges. And you peel the orange and you take all the white off of the orange. So all the stuff that's between the orange and the orange peel. And then you boil it in honey and you take it out and you let it dry. And it's just super tasty. I'm 38, so good question. You ever make a persimmon tart? No, I have not. Hey, butthead. What's going on? Let's see. Man, this chat is a little crazy. Let's go through here. Don't get trim, don't get trim. Holy Zeus beard from the heavens. Cool. And then give me some food, sir. I'm sorry, man. I don't have any food I can send you. Let's see. Knife isn't medieval, nor your plastic cutting plate. Forget your glasses and cotton t-shirt. Yeah. Yeah, it's anachronism. You know, you're making a recipe using modern tools, so that's not a big deal. We don't go that far. There are organizations that do go that far, and there's no problem with doing that, but we don't do that. We don't have access to those tools or those materials to go that far as making medieval recipes that way. So, you seem to be retired from the army? No, never never enlisted in the Army. That would be pretty interesting if I did, but never did that. Air fry? Do I have an air fryer? Maybe. Bunch of stuff behind me. In my kitchen. In my kitchen. But yeah, we're going to pick up edible flowers tomorrow. I have a specific farm that I picked them up from. And then from there, I'm going to go through the process of making everything. It's strawberry season. It is. In at least Pennsylvania, it is strawberry season. Sour cherries are in season starting next week. So sometimes I get commissions, local commissions. So which Freemason lodge do you attend? None. That'd be pretty cool if I did though, but unfortunately I am not part of the Freemasons. I am not cool enough. I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Concept, that is a weird question. I don't think I'll answer that one. Appreciate you asking, though. Very weird question. So the hard part's going to be doing the cherries, because the cherries can't necessarily be done with a knife, or not easily. Sam, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like I said, 6 o'clock, I'm going to get my beard trimmed up. I'm going to get my hair trimmed up and all that. So, get that all done. You are the perfect Redditor phenotype. I don't know what that means. I'm just me, man. Kind of do the best I can with what I have, right? So... strawberries and cream are pretty good. Problem is that a lot of milk that's sold in stores and heavy cream tend to be already associated with sugar. And there's already sugar inside of heavy cream and milk, natural sugars. So it's kind of difficult to get heavy cream that has no added sugars without making them yourself, which you can. It's not an issue, but you kind of have to get the milk from a farm and go through the process to make sure that there's no preservatives, or that the preservatives they used specifically was refrigeration only. Kind of a process. Like these strawberries have never been super cooled and refrigerated elsewhere. Whereas the cherries that I'm going to be breaking down, they're from California. So they've been super cooled, they've been chilled to below, I believe, below 33 degrees and frozen and then brought over. You lose something. You lose some consistency when you do that. You lose some of the freshness. It's very different. It's different enough that you notice it. Do you think they put sugar in the milk and cream in Europe as well? Certain brands they do. But in Europe, they have a significantly better way of making sure that the food stays without as many preservatives. In the US, we kind of have to deal with all the preservatives that are going on. So it kind of sucks. Fresh food tastes better in the US, but it takes a bit more to find it. It takes more to make it. And unfortunately, a lot of people in the U.S. do not want to spend the time, or they don't have the resources to do it. Like if you live in a remote part of the United States, the only supermarket you may have is a Walmart. And they're not great when it comes to fresh food. So... these were purchased from 2 local farms. So I'm all about it. The cherries, on the other hand, they needed to be purchased from like a grocery store. I didn't have a choice because they're not in season technically, not for another week, and I need the cherries by tomorrow. So I did not have a choice in the matter. What is what it is, you know, at the end of the day. If you want to know my stream schedule or what my plans are for streaming, we have more drawing streams coming up. We drew a bunch of stuff for Drakenfest, and people are pretty excited about seeing my drawings. I might become a part of the Wizards Guild, which is some really cool. You basically be a PC that's also an NPC, if you're familiar with those terms. You're a player character that's also a non-player character, and people come to you to ask you for advice, help, role play, work with you with quests and things like that. So it's a very heavy, hands-on, volunteer, fun thing to do at Drakenfest. So I'm pretty excited about that. What bird species lives here? I don't know. I'm not familiar. That's a very particular question. I am not familiar with the bird species in Pennsylvania. You have to Google that for me and let me know. That's a good question. But usually I sell these tarts. They can range depending on how much stuff that they want in the tarts and stuff like that. But they can range anywhere from $50 to $100. So, penguins? Yeah. Could be penguins. Be some really warm penguins, though. It's like 85 degrees outside today. Be some strange penguins, man. But Path of Exile is coming up. I'll be playing Path of Exile. If you like action RPGs, they're typically my jam. This YouTube channel, I usually mix up all the stuff that I do in the SEA as well as my gaming stuff. So the gaming stuff like playing Dance Dance Revolution and playing video games like action RPGs, as well as cooking streams and cooking stuff, you know. So right now I'm in the middle of making food, which is medieval food with a recipe from the Middle Ages. So, all right, we're gonna hold off on these 4. We have 4 left. Cool. Diablo 4, definitely not my jam. Not a fan of it. Yeah, not a fan of it. So, pretty big bin. And then literally, we just take Black Box, Cabernet Sauvignon. This one is from Chile. There's absolutely nothing with it. It's just literally red wine. Cabernet is the like the easiest thing to bake and use for food. If you want to use red wine, or if you want to use wine in general, it's also the closest thing to medieval wine. You can use mead, but if you decide to use mead, keep in mind that mead was made using honey and is automatically usually sweet, so you could really screw up your stuff by doing that. Age of Empires, yes. I have played Age of Empires 4. I still have it installed on my computer. I love it. Age of Empires 2 is also wonderful. I don't think there's any bad Age of Empires game that exists, honestly. I think Civilization is a lot of fun. Honestly, I've never played it. So, but it's fun to watch. It's just the turns take forever. If you're familiar with the board game Twilight Imperium, it kind of reminds me of that game, where Twilight Imperium is a board game that lasts 8 hours, sometimes longer, 8 to 10. So it's just kind of crazy. So, okay. So we have this done. This is marinating. This is going to take approximately, not 24 hours, but it's going to take something like 18 hours, 16, 18 hours. We're going to pull it out around 10 o'clock today. What's your country of choice of AOE? Oh my god. That's a good question. I'd have to pull up the game again to really give you a good answer to that, because I usually choose one random kind of often. The French, I know, are really good. The English are good as well. They're like very easy things. I did Google how to do a tower rush before, so doing like a fun tower rush on like on NPCs, people that are playing against you, is fun. So yeah, that's fun. So this is what we have. That's done. And then we are going to package this up. My playlist is really dull then? It's not, actually. My playlists are actually pretty popular. I don't know why you would think that. No throne or liberty. Okay. All right. I gotta wash all this up, and then I gotta start working on cherries. So, but this whole thing is gone. So it costs me roughly $15 or so to make a pie. So, but it's just a lot of time, a lot of effort. So this gets marinated. Then we have to bake the pie crusts tomorrow, and then we have to go through the process tomorrow. So all the baking is going to happen tomorrow. All the processing happens today. So you have to do all this first before you can go ahead and do the rest. So, but yeah, I'm going to wash this stuff, wash my hands again, and then we're going to start working on the cherries. And cherries are going to take a lot of time. So you can ask me more questions. And my hands are going to be all red, because I got to literally rip them apart and then put them in a container. So, BRB. Give me like 3 minutes. Are you pro or anti-bill? I don't even know what that means, Neftali. I don't know what that means. Wish I could tell you. I wish I had a rabbit. Rabbit would eat all those ends. No issue whatsoever. Alright, Sarah, don't touch this. It's in the fridge now. And grab another container. Alright. Time to wash. Okay. Clean this. Clean this. got to find a way to keep this up. Let's see. I was using cherries for that, but I'm going to use this now. Cool. All right, we're good. Oh, we're going to need a container for the pits. All right. Okay, no cross-contamination. Good evening from me in Sweden. Hey, Nina, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. I want to go to Sweden for a vacation. That'd be a lot of fun, honestly. All right, so we're using just a big container. We have about 3 pounds of cherries, which is a lot. Might make more than one. Well, obviously we're making more than one pie, but may make 3 or 4 pies by the time we're all said and done over the course of 2 or 3 days. We'll see. But so these are going to be kind of a pain in the ass, because the reason why is because we want these to marinate. So we have to kind of rip them apart, take the pit out, because what's going to happen with these is that we are going to blend them after we're done with them. So we may not even need the knife as much as we just have to pull them apart. So it's fine. So what we're doing is that we are preparing a bunch of fruit in order to marinate them for up to 24 hours in red wine. And then afterwards, Sportsland, happy birthday. Appreciate you. Do I know Conor McGregor? I do not, but I'm 25% Irish, so that's about as much as close as I am to Conor McGregor. That is as close as it gets. Me and Conor McGregor both being Irish. It's pretty much as close as it gets to that. So, but Sportsland, happy birthday. I hope you had a good one. I hope everything was great today for you. I think everybody deserves a really fun birthday. 45% Gabby, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm 25% Irish, I'm 25% European, and kind of all over the place with the rest. So, but the pits of cherries are very toxic, so if you ever cook with cherries and you're planning on blending them eventually and cook with them eventually, you do not want to, you don't want to involve the pits. So you rip the pits out. If you eat a cherry and you eat a pit or two, it shouldn't be a big deal. Your body won't really digest it, what it can be. So, yeah. But yeah, I guess people have told me I look like Vsauce. I don't think I sound like Vsauce, but I do look like Vsauce. Apparently, we both have some wild beards, but my beard grows really fast. What am I making? So that's a great question, Gabriel. We're making I'm making a cherry tart, and I'm going to be making a cherry tart and a strawberry tart. And what we do is we take a bunch of fruit and we prepare it. We basically break it down so that the fleshy part is going to be available to be soaked in red wine. And then we dump a bunch of red wine in. We let it soak for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And then we are going to take it out, cook it for about 15 minutes to make sure that the red wine portion isn't overpowering. While it's cooking, we're going to add honey. We can add sugar, but we want to make it diabetic friendly. And honestly, honey just straight up tastes better, honestly. Just so much better. From there, we're going to blend all the dry ingredients, which is bread. So you take like the white part of the bread, the non-crust, and you add the other dry ingredients and you blend them in. Some rose water, some rose water, some honey, white breadcrumbs, like fresh white breadcrumbs. You blend that all in. You put it in a pie crust that we already prepared, and then you bake it for another 20 minutes. And when it's done and completely finished, we're going to put fresh flowers on top that are edible. Now, what determines edible flowers? Usually edible flowers are flowers that have not been given pesticides and are actually edible and not toxic to humans. So the flowers do not get baked, they get placed on top. And we'll probably put some slices of cherry or slices of strawberry on top of the pies as well. We saved a few to do that. So that is the game plan. So we're breaking down cherries right now. This is a medieval recipe, something that they did in the 16th century. It's a lot of fun. Umer, I can't really help with that. I'm no therapist, but you certainly should see one if you feel that way. Have I eaten milk tart before? I have not. I have eaten a lot of really interesting foods, just being part of the SCA and part of the medieval organization that I'm a part of. So I am not locked in my basement right now. That is incorrect, Marcelius. I'm upstairs in my kitchen, just breaking down cherries, man. Easy peasy. Giving off good vibes, you know. We're eventually making this channel for everybody to enjoy and watch. Feel free to sub, like. What are the other hot button words that you can say? Sub, like, jump on one foot. Whatever you want. You're here, you're supporting, I appreciate you. Which of these fruits do you like? Mango, apple, apricot, cherry. That is a great question. So I would have to say cherries are my number one on that list. Mangoes are a close second because I really love orange. And then I would say apricot is a third. Apple's a fourth, only because I don't like the consistency of apple at times. Sometimes people just don't cook it long enough. I look like a teacher? Yeah, I probably do. I probably do. Ever been to prison? No. No. I think I'd have a pretty terrible time if I went to prison. Dry apricots are so tasty. I'm sure they are. I've taught classes before. Like I've taught SCA classes before, and different classes on how to make things. The problem with cooking is that cooking is all based off of ratio and understanding the principles of what you're trying to do. Like this recipe suggests 100 grams of sugar per serving. But the problem is that we can't really do that because we have to kind of figure it out via honey standards. And we have about 3 pounds of cherries that we're breaking down. So we kind of have to take the recipe and do a bit of a taste test as we go to make sure that we are on the right track. So, and based on looks. We're going to use the bread that we have and add bread as we go to kind of figure out how much bread we should use. So, what's going on, Ivan? I hope you're having a great day. But if anything, I'd probably be a cooking teacher. So these cherries are grown in the U.S. They're distributed by a company in California. They are called the Rivermaid Trading Company in Lodi, California. What's going on, Ranjin? Hope you're doing good. And these are, they just say cherries. I don't know if they're red or if they're black. They look red. So they do look like regular red cherries overall. Yeah, everything's good. So we're going to do this, and then we'll do another stream tomorrow. And tomorrow will be the actual baking process and processing everything and doing everything. I might find my little stand. I have a phone stand that makes things much easier for me. You can kind of see the wild going on. In my language, we call cherry alishi. Very cool. I hope it is correct pronunciation on that. If it's not, then I'm sorry. Do my best. But yeah, they'll look really pretty. Again, if you, I'm on Instagram. All my Instagram posts are public. If you do at Theo Holtz, THEO, and then Holtz, HOLTZ, you can see the pie that I made for someone else's birthday. And it was a plum pie. I made 2 of them. They were very, very good. Everybody ate. There was somewhere around 15 people there, and they ate a pie and 3/4 of another pie because I made 2. It was crazy. A lot of pie. But the pits take up maybe 20% of the whole chicken. We're really only trying to save the fleshy bits because the pits can harm and or maim and or hurt someone. So we're ripping these cherries apart. We're gonna have red fingers for the rest of the day. We're ripping these apart because we are going to coat these with red wine, and then we're going to cook it tomorrow. And we'll do the batches one at a time. We'll probably do the strawberry first, and then we'll do the cherry. And then we're going to run off to the birthday party. Let's see. Little one, it's messed up. A lot of people like honey with tea or biscuits or just for recipes, messing with the environment, even trees. Happy Valentine's Day. So normally all the honey that I get is from local farms or meaderies. And so they are locally processed, locally sourced, treated right, treated well. Super nice stuff. What do I do for a living? I am a manager at a retail store. So I do this on the side. I enjoy it. It's fun. Since you like medieval times, what are you doing on Halloween? It's kind of a weird situation as far as Halloween standards are concerned, because when you dress up almost every month in medieval clothing, you kind of like want to do something a little different. And everybody else is dressing up weirdly, but you're always dressed up every time you're dressed up. So but usually a friend of mine has a party, and usually I go dressed up. I think last year I just dressed up in my medieval garb. As far as pumpkin pie, I've never made it. It is very tasty, but I've never made it before. It would be a fun project though. I'm sure it's easy to do. Not difficult. Can I get a job? I wish. I wish I was popular enough that I needed somebody to help me with like making videos and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Maybe eventually, Ranjan. Pay to edit videos. That'd be fun. That would be pretty fun. But no, I'm not nearly popular enough for that yet. If I ever get that popular. If I do, cool. If I don't, that's okay too. And then tomorrow I have to go to my, I have a local person who sells edible flowers, and I will then go and pick those up. I'm peeling cherries. So I'm getting the fleshy part from the cherry and exposing the fleshy part in order to make sure that they soak in red wine properly. Because if you don't, then they're not going to really expose themselves to the red wine properly. So, what books do you enjoy reading? I do a lot of inspirational books, a lot of fantasy, honestly, a lot of cookbooks, because I'm usually doing a lot of research for recipes and stuff like that. I've been into a lot of books with drawing nowadays, like black and white pen work, some drawing books to learn more. Yeah. Xander, what's going on? If that's just you again, hello again. Yeah, if hive has too much honey, bees typically leave the hive, and it winds up being kind of a chaotic situation. So they just keep producing honey. There's a way to force bees to produce honey, and there's a way to have bees produce honey naturally, and that's something interesting to think about. So bees, just like chickens as well, they can produce honey based off of how much sun they receive and how much they think it's winter or spring. So you can actually create a habitat for them where they produce honey all year round, but that's not really conducive. It's not like good for them. So you're kind of abusing the system there. The honey that we get from the local vendors and the local people in the area, they don't do that. So they just allow the honey to be produced in the spring and the summer, and then when the fall rolls around, they produce a little bit of honey, and then obviously in the winter there's no honey. So yeah, locally sourced, locally produced, ethically maintained, which means that they don't harm any of the bees in the process of maintaining that process. And yeah, I usually get it at a pretty good rate too. I think I have something like 10 or 12 pounds of honey left. And usually I use it for a lot of different things through the year. It costs me something like $120 for 24 or 26 pounds of honey. So it's a pretty cheap rate. I pay wholesale. So, but that's what you get when you buy from local distributors versus buying from a retail store and paying $10 a pound or more. So come to India and make some content in India. Your videos will be filled with lakhs and thousands of views. Well, I don't know if I would ever. Well, I'm sure I would visit India one day. I'm sure. Visiting places is amazing. I don't necessarily know if I would make videos in India. I think I would just make videos here in the US. Not to say never, you know. But India is an amazing place. But I want to travel to Ireland next, if anything. I've never been to Ireland before. So that'd be a fun place. Try honey from the UK. It's called Bee Juice. It's a product from Jeremy Clarkson because he's now a farmer. Really? Jeremy Clarkson. He was made popular from what is it? Top Gear, right? Guy's got more money than he knows what to do with at this point, I'm sure. Great show, Top Gear. I'm honestly surprised I have no cherry juice on my shirt yet. Very lucky. I've gotten very lucky so far. Now he buys over expensive Lambo tractors, yeah. In Asia, there's giant wasps. 5 of them. Wow. Yeah, those giant wasps are not fun. Not good. Not good. I want to travel to Australia, Japan, Vietnam, France, Israel, and also the U.S., Russia, Ireland. Not yeah. I've been to Ireland. I've been to Israel for 9 days. It's nice. Nice. Very fresh food. But it is a war zone. Like, even before all the chaos that was happening between Palestine and Israel, it was a war zone. So now it's still a war zone. So it's not. It's a great place to visit, but like, yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful to be there, honestly. And I don't necessarily know if that'll ever change in our lifetimes. We'll see. Depends on Israel's government. Has a series called Clarkson's Farm. I have to check it out. It's hard to resist trying, like, tasting one of these. I don't want to put my mouth on something and then like have my hands on it. No, not blood, but they do. VFX companies do use cherry to kind of mimic blood in some ways, but they thicken it because usually blood's a bit thicker than this. Well, what's interesting, Rajan, is there was a restaurant that we went to that the husband was Israeli and the wife was Palestinian, and they were where did that go? The wife was Israeli and the husband, oh, here it is, and the husband is Palestinian, and they had a restaurant, and you had to travel through the Dead Sea and go through Israel to the area that they lived, and their restaurant was literally in their home, and a bunch of celebrities had gone there previously, but it was amazing. It tasted amazing. But I have no idea if you can even access it anymore, honestly. It's crazy. Scariest moment I ever had was when I was in Bali. We left a restaurant, walked up the hill. The restaurant then got, Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, the plus side with the U.S. is that doesn't happen, but you know, the United States has its own problems, honestly. So everybody's got their own issues, right? One way or another. The person who said hello above Rusty, hello and welcome. I can't read anything you said, so, but thank you for saying hello. Like you are speaking something that my language filters do not pick up. So, and I only speak English, unfortunately. I wish my brain could comprehend more than that, but it does not. Although they have language devices now, which is pretty cool. They have these new devices that they put in your ear, and you can actually hear language being translated, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the craziest part that happened in Israel was there was a shooting a couple blocks away from us in a restaurant, and when we found out what happened, we walked back to the hotel, and it was all over the news, and there was a Palestinian who had gotten into an altercation with the owner, and yeah, it's sad. Like, it's just a really crazy situation. Like, Palestinians in Israel are treated like second-class citizens. And yeah, it's even the jobs that they do, they pay more taxes on what they do, and yeah, it's just a crazy situation. So, and that's not due to the people that live there, that's due to the government people that live there are amazing, super kind. You know, real thrill. So, visit our North Sentinel Island. 2 Americans already gone there. That cannibal tribe already. Yeah, no, I'm gonna pass on cannibalism. I can live the rest of my life without going to a island that has cannibals in it. Probably can live the rest of my life being okay with that. AI told me that if America and UK did so typically, Rusty, there are filters on AI that prevent the suggestions of, world wars or anything like that, because the whole situation is that AI is kind of being filtered. Kind of like the reason why you can't go on Google and just Google anything you want. But the deep web has, other answers that you may have access to. You know what I mean? Like, Google in the 90s is very different from Google from today's standards. So that is one of the main reasons why that is like that. So yeah. NAI has access to millions upon millions of pieces of information, as well as pieces of information that, even though are dated, can be used in a way to kind of mathematically calculate the statistical probability of something being that way now. Like if you use population density from, let's say, 2022, and then you think, okay, well, from 2020 to 2022, the population has only gotten this much, and so from 2022 to 2025, you can kind of conclude what the population density is. You can kind of do that with other research as well. So that's why AI is a little dangerous still right now. If you're asking AI, the right questions, it will give you some really interesting answers. America just did the ban on 12 countries international travel to us. Yeah, the main reason why America banned those countries is because our president is racist. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the main reason. Yeah, like every single person that has essentially looked at the places that have been banned have essentially said the same thing, that there's no logic or premise on why those countries were banned. It's just really silly. And yeah, Elon and Trump, AOC has said it best. The girls are fighting. Elon and Trump are fighting one another, and Trump has a lot more power than Elon does as far as like really screwing that all up. So we're all here for the show, It's very silly. I wouldn't say I'm a Democrat, but I would definitely say that I'm not a Republican. I am independent left-leaning, so I think for myself, but I have logic and common sense behind me. What's going on, Nathan? Hope you're doing well. This bowl's getting... it's a lot of cherries. We're going to have to do a big cleanup by the time we're done, so... But yeah, I mean, Trump wants to take SpaceX away from Elon, citing national security risks. Basically, Trump went full nuclear, using quotation marks there, on Elon due to, I guess, something Elon said. And yeah, it's crazy. What's going on, Ali? Or Ally? And Nathan, what am I doing with the cherries? So these cherries are being broken up, and then we're going to pour red wine in this container. And then tomorrow we're going to go on live and we're going to bake these bad boys into some cherry tarts and some strawberry tarts, specifically for 2 parties that I'm going to. One of them being tomorrow, and one of them being Sunday. So we're gonna bake and make some really tasty treats. Usually I sell these for like 40-50 bucks. They cost something around $12-15 to make. So yeah, it's good. When are we traveling back to the moon now? I have no idea. I thought we did that, didn't we? I thought we were gonna do that. Sir, do you know I haven't seen Vine in my entire life? I have never seen Vine either. I actually don't own TikTok. I've never seen Vine. So there you go. Kitticu. What's going on, bud? Rajan says, Trump wants to nationalize SpaceX. It's not going to go well. We Indians also once nationalized private companies, and we've got this now too. I think the main reason why he's doing it is mainly just to be a dick. The doctor told me I died after tomorrow. All right, well, Kit, I appreciate you spending your last couple of hours here watching me peel cherries. I honestly hope that you have the best of luck in the rest of your life, and I hope you do well with that. I would suggest eating your favorite meal and enjoy maybe some ice cream and enjoying the rest of your life, April 2026, we're going to go to the moon again. No, he said I already died after tomorrow. Oh, well then he lied. And it's time to live the rest of your life. It will be with Artemis 2 all going well. I gotcha. The real question is why are we going back to the moon? I mean, I guess the plan is to potentially consider a space station, or more experimentation on the moon. That's my guess. Sir, what's the best food you suggest for me in the morning? So, Ali, my favorite morning treat, it's like a tasty morning treat, is you take a piece of bread, you coat it with peanut butter, you sprinkle some seeds on top, usually like poppy seeds, and then from there you drizzle some honey on top. Easy breakfast. Drink a nice hot tea with that. Really good. Really easy. 5 minutes. Bro, you're very dedicated for your work. I can't sit for hours doing this. You're really, yeah. It's for me. It's pretty easy. I don't mind it at all. What about Starlink? Didn't he say he wants to give internet access to poor countries? So that's a great question. So Gabby, you kind of hit on that and hit on that in a really interesting way. So Starlink is basically a way for Elon to monetize poor and countries that are underdeveloped. And it's really screwed up the way he does it. One of the ways he did it was he offered internet access to Ukraine, and then he went through the process of even taking away that internet access while extorting Ukraine for more money. So it's really screwed up process the way he does it. And yeah, it's expensive. It's fucking Starlink, So what's this mess? So we're breaking down cherries, and we're going to be coating these cherries with red wine, letting it marinate for at least 12 hours, and then we're going to be baking them to make a tart tomorrow. So we're talking to chat and making a mess. And we're getting rid of the pits, so we're just going to toss them. There's nothing to do with them. So yeah, no, that's not the point though, Rusty. The point is like he's getting money from typically under he's getting money from underperforming governments to go ahead and provide internet access to those governments. And so he doesn't have to necessarily provide internet for for the whole country, just for those particular areas. Yeah, I don't do evil deeds. I'm not a fan of it, man. You get as much good from the world as you put into it. So put as much good as you can, and good comes back. That's it. I don't necessarily know if Elon is trying to benefit mankind. I think that he cares more about lining his pockets with money, which shows from the choices that he made previously. If he did only care about benefiting mankind, then he would still be donating his one of many satellites of Starlink to Ukraine, like he said he would. But he did not do that. Messerve, what's going on, bud? We're breaking down cherries, and by breaking down cherries, we are going to be making a cherry tart tomorrow. So we're breaking down 3 pounds of cherries. We just sliced about 1.5 pounds of strawberries. We're going to make strawberry tarts, and we're going to be making cherry tarts tomorrow, and we're throwing away all the pits. So there you go. Yeah, I think it was Elon's best. I think it was in Elon's best interest to not have anything to do with any wars, especially as a company and someone who represents a company. Then when he started participating in a war, whether it's good or bad, like it's just not conducive to to his organization, to what he wants to do. Tank the stocks. It is 3 pounds of cherries. It is. It is. We're taking the pits out. We're making sure that the flesh is available. The weird part about the Mars thing is, and we can talk about that, but the weird part about the Mars thing is that I believe it's going to take 10 years for anyone to physically get to Mars. And then even when we get to Mars, there's no guarantee that we will even be able to survive on the planet, on top of any messages that will get to us from Mars. So it's kind of a crazy situation, you know. Am I worried about AI taking over? No. I'm not as worried about AI taking over as I'm worried about the usage of AI by intelligent people. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm more worried about. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point, Rusty. Like for someone who's a nice guy who seems to have no wanting of politics nor wanting to line his pockets, he seems to know a lot of really screwed up things. You know what I mean? Where am I from? I'm from the United States. I'm actually from Pennsylvania. So I'm originally from New Jersey, actually. Elon is the only human trying to benefit mankind, mark my words. The only one who tried before him was cheeses. I mean, I think that the only person that, personally, I think has done fairly well in trying to benefit mankind in a positive way has been the person who made Microsoft. And even then, he's not all positive. It's not all gravy, you know. But we'll see. I mean, Elon's, well, that's gone. I'll get that later. Elon's got what, 30, 40, maybe even 50 years of life left. So I mean, we got plenty of time. You know what I mean? people have kind of hiccups in their lives. So we'll have to see what happens, you know? That cherry on the floor is gone. It's going to be thrown away. Guaranteed. Moon is not habitable. We would still be in domestic. I mean, it would be interesting to have a place on the moon for people to visit and to do experiments on. Because the thing is that the moon has obviously less gravity, and we're going to be probably going to do that, you know, going to planets with that. Muhammad, love from Pakistan. Hey, thanks, bud. Appreciate you. Yesterday, BTC dropped. I got liquidated because of Trump. Elon, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not in. I did not invest into crypto. How are you reading old comments without scrolling? I don't know. I'm just fast about it, really. I try to comment as fast as possible when I see it, and then I kind of memorize the comment and go from there. We don't have like 50 people in here, so the chat isn't moving too fast. So, two-planet theory for mankind, yeah. I mean, the two-planet theory for mankind isn't as urgent. I would say probably in the next 300 to 400 years, we'll probably need something like that to at least start and begin, but I don't think that we're there yet. I don't think we're there at a point where it's that big of a deal, you know. I won't be around for it. It's likely you guys won't be around for it unless they start downloading us into computers. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing is that it's a huge opportunity, right? Like, the first company to potentially invest and put their money into something like that will basically control that world. So it is like a humongous type of situation where there's, you know, to spend billions of dollars here is to make trillions, if not more, dollars elsewhere. So it's like, it's crazy, you know. And yeah, there might be wars to determine who controls that planet, you know. It'll be nuts. Again, it won't be something that we'll handle in our lifetimes while we make 15th century pies, but we can discuss it, you know. I think before everybody jumps on Hayes, because I think Hayes is defending himself and his beliefs, there are people who think that Elon is doing good stuff, and there's always two sides of a coin, right? So I get it. I do think that the actions that Elon has done recently are really haven't proven to be too well. But like I said, Elon has 40 to 50 more years of his life to go ahead and prove that he's doing good things. You know what I mean? So he's got plenty of time to prove us all wrong. But right now is definitely not the time that he's proving himself. He's kind of more or less embarrassed himself, unfortunately, more than not. But it is what it is, you know. And to say that he's in debt, I mean, all of these, everybody who owns a ton of money is in debt. That's just how business works. You're constantly and consistently in debt. You know what I mean? When Elon has rocket failures, do people die? No, usually the rocket failures are tests, so there's not usually anybody physically there Let's see, Kai Vsauce. Yeah, I do look like Vsauce. Maybe, maybe in my things I should do like hashtag Vsauce. Me and Vsauce will do a collab stream eventually. I mean, Rusty, you're not wrong. It's just, you know, I kind of look at it from the perception of like in the 90s we versus today, right? So we're looking at 30 years. In the last 30 years, we've had some of the strongest storms, some of the worst catastrophes naturally that have occurred in the United States, and these aren't changing. There's no reversing these things. There's no changing course. We do have some years that those things aren't as bad, but for the most part, global warming is pretty freaking bad. So not only do we have to reverse the bad things that are happening here, but on top of that, we probably need another planet to essentially do some of those things there to make that planet a real place to live. So it is a gigantic undertaking, and eventually, you know, the money is just not going to match up. It's not going to be there. Businesses are going to have to just invest. They're just going to have to do it either for free, or they're just going to have to be okay with the cost of doing business to potentially invest in something like that. But it's going to be chaos. That was so fucking good. Oh, it's so good. All right, I'm glad I resisted eating those cherries this whole time, because I would have eaten a lot more than just that one. Yeah, the cherries, the rocket tests don't have physical people in them. They test them, they shoot them to a certain distance, and then they go from there to test them. So, so good. Oh my God. Well, when I get my haircut done today, they're going to think I murdered somebody, but no lives are lost here. Just cherries. Oh my gosh. What a lively discussion. You guys are, I appreciate you guys a lot, actually. That was a very good discussion about all that, honestly. Oh, I gotta wash the table, and I gotta wash this, and yeah. Could have actually made cherry sauce. That would have been really tasty, but tarts. So what do we do on this channel? Just as a reminder to the few people that are still here. What do we do on this channel? So we make food. We do food prep. We talk to our friends and our fans about a bunch of stuff, anything that they really want to talk about. And we go through the process of making the food, making videos on it, and doing fun medieval stuff. We also play video games. Specifically, we play Path of Exile. Path of Exile is coming out on Friday. We're going to be practicing, probably doing a speed run or two of that, of Acts 1 through 10, so we can kind of prepare for that. And we play Project Diablo 2. We have a bunch of art that we have to draw because we do black and white pen work. So we have to make some art. So there's usually some art streams and some art stuff, so don't miss those. We just did a pretty cool art stream. If you missed it, go back and check it out. We drew a bunch of really cool stuff. Diablo Immortal. There you go. Exactly. It is very grindy. And any action RPG is grindy, just the way it works. And yeah, just talking about life, man. So if you're here for it and you like my company and you like hanging out, feel free to sub, to join me whenever I'm live. I try to go live usually around 12, 1 o'clock. But usually I do the best I can. It's a little later than that because I was busy trying to pick everything up for the food stuff that I have to do. So jumping into different stuff that I had to do. So tomorrow will probably be an earlier stream, realistically speaking, because we have to be at a flower shop by 10 o'clock, pick up the flowers, go back home, and then start baking everything. And the baking process usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and then we have to travel to Jersey to the party. So it's chaos. Yeah, videos on PoE are pretty complex. Kit, appreciate you hanging out, honestly. Hayes, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Let me see. This knuckle is not. Let me check the chat. You don't watch a lot of logical people that can have normal, coherent conversation. Yeah, I mean it's I think it's difficult for people to improv and to talk about just what's on their mind. And I'm just very used to it. I've done live action role playing for many years and doing SEA or medieval stuff for many years. So PoE just about gear build. Yes and no. There's a lot of skill usage and understanding skills as well. And it's a lot. It's a lot to learn, honestly. I cannot tell you enough that if you do decide to start playing Path of Exile, that you go through the process of doing a build guide, that you do not try just doing it yourself. Don't be a silly goose, please. Please, I beg you. Be smart and use a build. Don't just jump in YOLO on it, because you're gonna have a real tough time playing the game. So, all right, hang around, chat amongst yourselves. I gotta wash up. I can't hang out here with goo all over my hands. Once I wash up, we're gonna put the red wine into the cherries, and that's pretty much it. We gotta throw the pits away. We gotta wash the table. We have four strawberries left. Those strawberries are gonna be cut to put on top of the strawberry tarts, so those have to go in the fridge. And we might be pretty much done. And I'm getting a beard trim, hair trim, all that stuff done around 6 o'clock. So, yeah, chaos. I'm Eastern Standard Time. So, can you play that game on a phone? No, you can play on PlayStation 5, and I think it's also on Xbox 360 now. So, if you do have those available, that is available to you. But yeah. But my hands are like all sticky and gross. So I'll be right back. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna throw this away. Yeah, eventually, if I start making money on YouTube, I'll start investing in getting better gear and equipment for these streams. Some cool stuff, but we're not there yet. But they've been a lot of fun. Always appreciate everybody being here. Okay. And there was a cherry that fell on the floor. We gotta get that one. Okay. Alright, the only difference between the last one and this one is we are using the Deep and Dark Cabernet Sauvignon. Again, I do recommend a Cabernet Sauvignon if you are baking or cooking. So that's my suggestion. But we're gonna crack this bad boy open. Super simple and easy. Just making sure you kind of touch all the spots. Whoop, don't want to splash too much. And then we're going to toss this a little bit after. Actually, a lot of wine in here, which is good. There we go. Okay, let's throw this away. Let's mix that up. Let's clean that up a little bit. Clean the bowl a little. There we go. That's not the lid that we need, but that's okay. All this is going to be cooked down. Wine will be cooked down. $400 hours on Forza Horizon 4 and 1,000 hours on a garage on Forza Horizon 5. It's a lot of hours, man. It's dedication. I appreciate it. I respect it. I probably have, I know on Steam I have something like, I definitely have over 1,000 hours on Team Fortress 2. So, that's good. Even with the wine, that's good. That's going to be tasty. That's going to be really good. With the honey and everything else after it's baked, that'll be really tasty. That is why I charge $40 to $50 for these. To take so long. So I spent like an hour or two cutting everything and breaking everything down. I spent another 2 or 3 hours getting all the ingredients today. Tomorrow I'm going to spend another hour and a half, 2 hours baking and getting everything ready. So it's like 6, 7 hours to go ahead and get the pies ready. Takes time, man. And this lid is wrong. I have to get the right lid. I'll be right back. I thought I had the right lid. Blue, but incorrect. BRB. That works. I gotta wash that. Let's see, I can wipe it off. Okay. That is done. Oh. Don't eat cat food. What are you guys talking about? So they are sweet cherries. Yeah, so they're very sweet. I am getting sour cherries next week, though. Next week, there's going to be local Pennsylvania sour cherries. So, Naphtali, that is a weird question. No human beings. So, Naphtali, that is another weird question. Probably not a great question to ask. So Hayes, this is the interesting part about baking with sour cherries. So when you bake sour cherries, you give yourself the opportunity to add sweet to it. When you bake with sweet cherries, you run into the problem of when you bake with them, you have to kind of be careful about how much sweetness you put in. But when you bake with sour cherries, you can basically determine how much sweet that you get to add in. So it's a bit easier to bake with. So, fun fact. I gotta find room for this. Oh, in my fridge. Some weird stuff in my fridge, man. Okay, we'll put it up there. Ooh. Cool. Alright, now we're all done. Oh, we gotta put these. We gotta get these 4 strawberries in there too. There we go. Okay. Alright, guys. So we're all done. There's nothing else for me to do for today. Everything is marinating. Everything is done. Everything is in the fridge and needs to be in the fridge. We're going to be using a couple springform pans to bake everything. And we have some bread for the breadcrumbs. We're going to be using fresh breadcrumbs and going from there. And yeah, that's all we got. So this is super important, just to give you guys a heads up. If you didn't sub to me yet, please do so. Subs are extremely important for the stream right now. We got to get to 1,000 subs in order for me to basically be able to do other things with my stream. So if you have not subbed yet, if it's something where you pretty much hang out in a stream and then just leave, please, super important, sub. Appreciate if you do. If you don't, I hope I see you again and hanging out with me. But tomorrow we are going to be making the tarts. We're not making bacon. We're going to be making the cherry tarts and the strawberry tarts, and we're going to be going from there. So easy peasy. But let me just give a shout out to everybody who is hanging out for a while. Mezzo, thank you. Appreciate seeing you again. Neftali, thanks for hanging out. Rusty, appreciate you hanging out with me. Neftali, interesting questions, but appreciate you hanging out. And we'll go from there. So, but yeah, the more subs I have, the wider audience, and the more connections that I can basically do with the stream. Just trying to keep putting good things out there to see if we get more good things coming back. So yeah, feel free to do that. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Probably 10:30 Eastern Standard Time if you're curious, okay? So if you want to put it on the timer. But I'll see you. Enjoy.